give a huge round of applause for Stuart Jacobson.
My wife and I are very lucky that we became grandparents at a relatively young age. And I thought that my grandparent gift to my grandson would be never to sugarcoat the world, just to let him know what's going on, because he's going to find out anyway, and he's going to think I betrayed him and lied to him. Now, about 5 years ago, there was a school strike, and my son and his wife, they work, and my wife and I had to watch our grandson Lee, who at that point was in the annoying stage of his life. And he just would never accept any answer to any question. He's always another question. He'd drive you nuts. And the only way to get him to shut up was to use this parenting technique called bribery. And so you get him a sweet, you get him ice cream, you stick an electronic device in front of his face, or you play the same song for him over and over and over again. And let me tell you, I hated 99 Luft Balloons in the 80s, and I still hate that fucking song. Okay, so now one tradition that my wife and I have is every year we go for our intimate doctor's appointments at the same day, same time, and it's at UCLA teaching hospital, and her gynecologist and my urologist, they're in the same waiting room. And unfortunately, when we're having to watch the grandson this day, so we have to bring him with us to UCLA, and we get to the waiting room there, and I say to her, my wife, why don't you take him up with you, to the, because she's going to get, speculated, and I'm going to get fingered, and I figured let him go with her, and she takes a look at me and she says to me, "Fuck you, he's not going with me," and she's right here to say that that's what she said to me. So I take him up with me, and this is a curious kid who won't, just really, too curious, And the first thing you have to do is, if you're an old man like me at a urologist's appointment, is you have to do a urine flow analysis. And what that means is you pee into a tube that's connected to a computer. And so I got to go there. He's there with me. He's watching me pee into the tube, and he wants to know why I'm not peeing into a real potty. I say this is an old man potty, He says, "Can I pee into the tube with you?" And I said, you know what? That would give a false positive, of my results. So I said, no, you can't do it. Let me do it. You can go pee in the toilet afterwards. Okay, so we do that. Then immediately after that, they to put you in an exam room, they throw you down on the table, and they do an ultrasound of your bladder to see how well you voided yourself. Once again, he's there watching this. He sees them. If you ever had an ultrasound, they put this jelly on you, then they take a wand on, and he's totally fascinated by this. And he wants to touch the jelly, he wants to touch the wand, and he wants to talk to the technician about this. And this technician is not used to dealing with kids, So finally I say to the technician, you know what, just let him touch it, Let him do it, just it's easier just to do it this way. Okay, so we do that, and he does that, and then we have to wait in the exam room. Now, if you've ever been in a urologist exam room, it's got a lot of models of the male urogenital system. And in addition to that, it's got a lot of drawings, and they look like cartoons, and they look like kids' toys. He sees these things, and he's fascinated, and he wants to know what TV show these are from, what cartoon these are from. And I'm trying to explain to him that, the adult cartoons, which is it's sort of not the best analysis, but, just trying to keep this fucking kid quiet, So then afterwards, the urologist comes in, and this is a teaching hospital, and what it is, he brings in with him a urology resident, and a medical student. And he sees my grandson there, and he makes the first thing he says is, we don't do pediatric urology, which is something you don't want to have happen to you, But then he says, listen, I'm a teacher. I'm a professor. I have to, show these kids. Is it all right if I could, have them do the exam on you, along, with me? So I say, sure. Why not? My wife's a retired doctor. I'm all in support of education of doctors and medicine. So what happens is that, and this kid is also, he's still trying to ask the doctor questions, and doctor's trying to shush him and everything because he's a busy guy and he's got to go to see other people. And the time comes for them to do the rectal exam. And, in unison, the three of them, they take the nitrile blue gloves on. They put the KY jelly, and one by one they stick their fingers up my ass. And finally, this kid is stunned. he can't. He's out of questions, basically. And he's totally, it worked. Finally, something worked today. And basically, and then the doctor said to me, Stuart, you have he says to the other two, he says, this man has a small prostate, which, is actually very good to have a small prostate, So, we finish the exam. We go out and meet my wife in the waiting room, and she sees that my grandson is totally quiet. She says, "What happened?" So I tell her, and anyway, I have 3 takeaways from this story. The first takeaway is that I have a colonoscopy coming up in a couple of months, and I don't know whether or not I'm going to bring him or not. Okay. The second takeaway is that they say that it takes a village to raise a child. Now, it would help in the village as a good teaching hospital. And the third takeaway, and this is serious now, is that the sense of wonder is so important for a kid, and that really gets the kid quiet. And you give him a head fake, or distract him with some candy, or a toy, or a song. But to really, you really got to encourage a kid, not by bribery, but by just education and wonder and the joy of new things in life. Thank you.